This is Good Morning Charleston.
And good morning to you, Charleston. It is Thursday already, everybody. June 13th. I'm John Bruce.
And I'm Tessa Spencer. Thanks for starting your day with us.
Finally, a break from all that rain, but is it gone for good?
Fingers crossed.
Let's check in with Storm Tracker meteorologist Sonia Stevens with a look at the day ahead. The weekend's coming, Sonia. We want it to dry up.
Yeah, and we are certainly going to get a chance to dry out. We will carry just a slight chance of a shower today, but yeah, much drier, and then rain chances out of the forecast for a couple days after today. So you can see much drier. The clouds will slowly start to clear out as we head throughout the day, and we're going to see a lot of sunshine headed our way tomorrow. So with saturated grounds because of the rain yesterday and the clouds slowly starting to clear out, we're going to continue to keep an eye on visibilities this morning. So down to 3 miles in Moncks Corner, 7 miles in Somerville, and 7 miles in Orangeburg. So we are seeing 60s inland, 63 in Orangeburg, 66 in Somerville. Meanwhile, low 70s along the coast. So quite pleasant out there this morning, but those temperatures will be climbing as we do see more sunshine and, of course, a lot less rain today. 74 at 9 a.m., 84 by noon, and we'll top out around 88 by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Megan?
Alrighty, thanks, Sonia. Right now, we're taking a look at drive times for folks traveling on and off of Johns Island using the Waze app. If you haven't already, download the Waze app and join our Waze Around team, and you too can help us track traffic every single morning. I'll step out of the way so you can see things for folks traveling from Main Road over to River Road to Maybank Highway. A 21-minute drive, 21 minutes from Main Road to Savannah Highway, and from Main Road to Savannah Highway to St. Andrews Boulevard. That drive time also at 23 minutes. For now, we're going to send things out to Trooper Bob, the only traffic tracker live on the roads with you all every single morning. Headed to a scene in North Charleston. Bob, what are you seeing as you head that way?
Yeah, well, here's a live look at 526 as we head westbound towards Interstate 26. Just like you said, Savannah Highway right there at Main Road. Not seeing any sort of buildup. Took a look at Bees Ferry Road. You're looking good if you're headed down to the Glen McConnell Parkway. Highway 61 coming down from Somerville. Traffic also very light as you make your way downtown. This traffic report is sponsored by Fred Anderson, Toyota of Charleston.
All right, this month we remember the events of June 17th, 2015. On that day, a gunman walked into Mother Emanuel AME Church, opening fire, killing 9 people inside. The city of Charleston now commemorating that anniversary with events to honor the victims. And it all started Wednesday with a Bible study at that church, as they do each and every Wednesday. And today, there's going to be a senior citizens luncheon that will honor the memory of Susie Jackson and Ethel Lance, 2 of the victims. Members of that church's senior group. Our Brody Hart live in front of Mother Emanuel right now with what to expect at tonight's event. Brody?
John, good morning. There is no moving on. That's what Reverend Sharon Richard told me about Emanuel. Now, her mother and 2 of her cousins were victims of that tragedy. And, of course, today's luncheon is specifically to honor her mother, one of those cousins, of Ethel Lance and Susie Jackson. That starts at 11 o'clock this morning here in a few hours. A big reason, though, for today's events, it's just one of several happening this week for the 4th anniversary of the Emanuel tragedy. The big one, though, big event happens Saturday. It's the private premiere of the Emanuel documentary. That's for friends and family members of the victims. That premieres to the public, that documentary does, in theaters next Monday and Wednesday. But as for today's lunch, well, Sharon Risher is thankful for the chance to honor her family's memory.
They will never forget them. They will never forget, and to honor them this way every year, constantly put out there that they were important people and that they just won't be forgotten. And that's my thing. I don't ever want anybody to forget them.
Now, Risher will also host a book signing on Saturday. Her book is called For Such a Time as This. It talks about her journey after the shooting and helping care for families of the other victims. But today's lunch is free and open to the public. Starts at 11 o'clock this morning right here at Emanuel AME. But we're live downtown this morning. John, that's the latest. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Brody, thank you. And several other events will be held through the end of the month. On Saturday, there's going to be a youth empowerment session at Mother Emanuel at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's entitled Mind Your Matters. And students through the 6th to 10th grade will take part in that 4-hour workshop designed to build self-esteem and empowerment. Then, on Sunday, there's a book signing and an author talk by Reverend Sharon Risher, you just heard from. That's happening at 11 a.m. at Charleston County Public Library, location on Calhoun Street. For a full list of all of those events, you can go to our website, abcnews4.com.
The attendance lines have been drawn. CCSD's Constituent District 2 School Board has announced which attendance line plan to enact for the 2020-21 school year. That's when the new Lucy Beckham High School is expected to open. The board voted on the B1 map. That would send kids who live on Sullivans and Isle of Palms to Wando High School. The Whitesides Elementary Zone will also be split, sending some kids to Beckham and others to Wando.
We understand they have capacity issues. But why are we the ones being split off?
I think it makes sense. It makes sense to keep our zip codes together. It makes sense. 29464 is our community.
The new facility is expected to welcome 1,500 students and cost more than $100 million to build.
Covering the state now, Orangeburg County investigators say it's going to take some time to figure out exactly what happened to two people found dead inside a car. That vehicle was found on fire with two people inside Tuesday. Now investigators are trying to figure out what went wrong. Officials say that it could be days before the victims can even be identified because of how badly their bodies were burned.
Was a larger individual who was occupying the driver's seat, and then a smaller individual on the passenger side in the front as well.
The sheriff says both the State Highway Patrol and Orangeburg Department of Public Safety are now investigating that incident. The closing arguments will begin in the sentencing phase now of Timothy Jones Jr., the murder trial. On Wednesday, family members of the convicted killer begged the court and jury to spare his life.
Jones was convicted on all charges in the 2014 murders of his 5 young children. It will be up to the jury to decide if he is put to death or will spend the rest of his life in prison. Family members who took the stand said he can still serve a purpose.
I want mercy. I don't want him put to death. I think Tim, you know, he's smart. He's brilliant. We've told you about that over and over again. He can pay a debt to society.
Jones told the judge he didn't want to testify on his own behalf or give a statement before deliberations begin.
Two top Democratic presidential candidates going to be back in the Low Country this weekend. Former Texas Representative Beto O'Rourke and South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg are making appearances in the next coming days. O'Rourke's going to be in Beaufort Friday before traveling to North Charleston, and on Saturday he'll go from there to Sumter, Columbia, Spartanburg, and Greenville. Buttigieg will be in Charleston Saturday. He's expected to appear at the Fight for 15 march in Marion Square.
The American Civil Liberties Union has asked the Supreme Court to delay its decision on adding a citizenship question to the 2020 census. The ACLU sent a motion making the request late Wednesday night. That motion suggested a lower court could consider newly discovered evidence suggesting the question was added for political purposes. The Supreme Court is wrapping up its term and will issue an opinion in the case by the end of the month. And that brings us to today's number of the day, which celebrates an historic day for the United States Supreme Court. It was 52 years ago today Thurgood Marshall became the first African-American nominated to the High Court. Confirmed by the Senate that August, he officially took his seat on the court 2 months later. Thurgood Marshall served as Associate Justice for more than 20 years before retiring in 1991.
Former Trump aide has agreed to testify before the House panel investigating the president itself. Hope Hicks, who worked with then candidate Trump and then for the president during the first year in office, will testify before the House Judiciary Committee. Her testimony expected next Wednesday behind closed doors. So to cap for you this morning, more flying, less fighting.
Air travel about to get a little easier. The Unique Way One carrier is now offering to help you sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
And sunrise coming up in just 1 minute. We're still looking at rather cloudy skies out there, but we are going to see more in the way of sunshine today. Currently 70, but we'll be back in the 80s by this afternoon. Megan.
All right, we have a crash out in St. Stephen along the 4500 block of US 52 across the Diversion Canal with injuries being reported. We also have a crash in North Charleston. Our trooper Bob is headed to that scene. We'll take live pictures coming up next.